Welcome everyone to the YouTube channel of the BreakPoint Notes. For those who are not familiar with the BreakPoint Notes and what it is, it's a newsletter who come out weekly, usually on Monday when we are not late, but we try to not be late really. Come out on Monday, I was saying, on Substack. It's free of charge and talks about tennis, specifically what happened in the previous week. And what we believe was one interesting topic to pick and to discuss a little bit further. It's something nice to read during your coffee break on Monday and chit-chatting with colleagues afterwards, or, after a long day, having a little bit of time for relaxing and to give to yourself a time to read something that you might like. For this very first episode of the newsletter, what we are going to talk about is going to be Daniil Medvedev. Daniil Medvedev is our main character of this week because he not just won in Dubai the ATP 500, but also he managed to break a very nice statistic he had until 2 days ago, actually. Not all the victories are the same, though. The final, in fact, was never really played. His opponent, Talon Griekspoor, the Dutchman, withdrew before stepping on court due to a physical issue. So there was not really a championship match. That gave a little bit of a strange atmosphere, very little celebration, and but for Medvedev, the week still matters a lot. Because it marks a return to simply being Daniil Medvedev. During the tournament, he managed to defeat Wawrinka, Brooksby, and Auger-Aliassime in straight sets, showing progress and dominancy in that tournament, which is something that he hasn't done for a while. The start of 2026 has actually been very good. Title in Brisbane, but then he stopped in the fourth round in the Australian Open against an excellent performer, Lennart Tien. Then it came a little bit the slowdown of his performances. Rotterdam and Doha didn't really work for him. He lost against Humbert and Tsitsipas. Apologize for the pronunciation. That could have been kind of a breaking point again for a person who's trying to come up to the top of the ranking, but then he won the tournament here, so here we are again. Now comes Indian Wells. It's a strange tournament for him because Medvedev called himself a hardcore specialist, as we know from the famous clip, but the surface is there is really slow apparently, but yet he managed to get to the final in 2023 and 2024, lost against Carlos Alcaraz, the current world number one. But let's go to the opening question of the actual newsletter, which you, by the way, you need to read. I will leave the link in the description. A trend, a deliberate choice, or just a statistic? What we were referring to, the answer is here. So Medvedev broke a very curious statistic, so that he had never won the same tournament twice in his career. He managed to do it this time, but before that, apparently it was much easier to conquer than confirm. In Dubai, this time he did 23 ATP title, and he managed to defend his 2023 title in Dubai. His journey over the years goes from Sydney to Los Cabos, victory in St. Petersburg, and of course the slam in New York in 2020, the ATP Finals. In the event of the ATP Finals, he defeated Djokovic, Nadal. Thiem was the first player to be the top three in the same tournament since David Nalbandian back in 2007. So another curiosity was that not many times happened that the final of an ATP tournament hasn't, been played because of an injury. So it was just the seventh time since 1990, which is when ATP has been established. Is Medvedev back? Bit too early to say is back for good. We'll see. The number says he is competitive. He has 1,000 points on the race to Turin, so to get back to the ATP finals again. And we'll see what happens. It could be the beginning of something bigger, but we'll see. First things first, he needs also to manage to get to Indian Wells, because obviously what's happening in the area. In the area of Dubai, obviously. Great week for the Italian players as well. Not just Flavio Cobolli won in Acapulco, but also Luciano Darder won in Santiago, his 5th ATP title. With this victory, he becomes the player with most tour-level clay titles since the start of 2024 season. He is ahead of the king of clay, or the new king of clay, Carlos Alcaraz. The cherry on top for the Italian tennis, Federico China, rising star of the Italian tennis. He also won the ATP Challenger title in Pune. So great week, full of signals. We can't wait to see what's happening in the double sunshine between Indian Wells and Miami. We hope to see Daniil Medvedev competing there. We hope to see him performing great as he did this week. And also see you next week for other contents. We try to be back here every Monday. If not Monday, it's going to be Tuesday. But please subscribe to the newsletter. Again, it's free. And thank you for watching. Let us know what you think. Bye.